I'm Jill, and I'm so glad you're here with me on Simple Daily Recipes. Today I want to share with you a vegan beef stew that I made last night. The original recipe comes from my book, OMG Good Instapot Meals, Plant-Based and Oil-Free. Oh yeah, see, yeah, I wrote a book. Look, there's my face right there. Look, aren't they cute? Aww. Last night's recipe was a little different for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't have, or I couldn't find, the Gardein Beefless Tips. I don't know what the deal is, but the grocery stores around me have not been carrying the Beefless Tips, but they have been carrying the Beefless Strips, okay? The difference between the tips and the strips, I got some right here. They look weird. They look like nuggets. These are the Beefless Strips. They have a bread coating on them, and when you cut them open, I have one here I cut. There it is. It kind of looks like a fig Newton. I don't know what is that. Hold on. I don't know. I wasn't really sure if these were going to work. So instead of putting 2 bags of Gardein Beefless anything in my iPot, I decided I would just use 1. And it turned out 1 was enough. The second ingredient change I had to make was for the broth. In the original recipe, I called for 4 cups of Better Than Bouillon no beef broth. Well, I can't find the Better Than Bouillon no beef paste anywhere either. So I decided I would use the Better Than Bouillon vegetable base to make my broth. And I added 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke to it to give it its beefy flavor. And it worked out perfectly. Okay, and what? Oh, and the third thing that is different from the recipe in the book is that the recipe in the book was slow cooked for 3 hours, and today's recipe was pressure cooked for 3 minutes. Oh yeah, this is like vegan beef stew in a flash. Now before I jump into the recipe, I just want to show you this. Check this out. This is a picture from the original recipe. Check out the broth. Now see how the broth is still brothy? But look at the broth from last night's vegan beef stew. It's more like a gravy. Oh yeah, and let me tell you, that's a 2 slices of bread kind of sopping gravy. It is so, so good. I cannot wait for you to make this version of the vegan beef stew. Let's get cooking. All right, first I need to heat up my iPot. Yeah. I'm gonna water saute the vegetables. So I'm gonna use the saute mode, and I'm gonna use the normal heat setting to do the job. Into the iPot, I have 1 medium onion chopped, 2 large celery stalks chopped, and then one of those 8-ounce packages of white mushrooms that I've quartered up. Now I'm going to go ahead and just let the heat of the pot kind of start working on the vegetables. I don't have any water in the pot at this point, but when the pot starts to get dry, then I'm going to add a little bit of my vegetable broth. And there's my vegetable broth. I just kind of mixed it up ahead of time before I got started on my filming here. That's why it's in that jar. I don't actually keep it in a jar or store it up ahead. This was just a video thing. Now it did take somewhere, I don't know, probably about 8 to 10 minutes for my onions to cook down and get tender. I will admit I did add a little pinch of salt over my vegetables to kind of help draw out the moisture, and this helped a lot. Now I haven't added any liquid to the pot. The salt drew out the moisture from the veggies, and that added enough moisture to the pot. And as you see there, the onions were cooked down, and there was a little bit of burning going on, but it wasn't a big deal. So I went ahead and added my 3 cloves of chopped garlic here. And then went ahead and added just enough vegetable broth to wet the bottom of the pan, which was, I don't know how many, just enough, maybe 3 tablespoons worth, just enough to wet the bottom of the pan and pick up those to clean up the bottom of the pot too. I said pan, but you know what I mean, the inner pot. Okay, pot's all clean. It's time to put in all the rest of the vegetables. Here I have a little mix of white potatoes and gold potatoes, carrots, and then on the bottom you'll see the Gardein Beefless Strips. In goes the vegetable broth, That's 4 cups of vegetable broth with the liquid smoke already added to it. Here I have, let's see, I'm just going to count with you. 1 teaspoon of oregano, a half a teaspoon of thyme, I wasn't sure, half a teaspoon of dry mustard, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground bay leaves. Now, if I were slow cooking, I'd throw a large bay leaf in there. But since I was pressure cooking, I thought, you know what? I'm going to grind my bay leaves in my spice grinder and use it. And then I used a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper. And then I just kind of mixed that all around so my spices were evenly distributed. Checking my seal, make sure that my seal on my iPot lid is in place and secured. Lock on the lid, and then turn my vent pipe to sealing. Okay, and then here I just want to cancel my saute mode and use the manual button, which automatically kicks on for 30 minutes. And I'm going to use the minus key to adjust the cooking time down to 3 minutes. And as you'll see, when you use the manual button, the iPod automatically goes in, sets to high pressure. One of the things I love about using my iPod compared to the years that I spent with my stovetop pressure cooker is that when the pressure cooking time is over, it automatically kicks into a keep warm mode. Now I still have plenty of pressure in the pot, so I need to release it. So I'm going to turn the quick release valve to venting, and that's going to release the pressure. Not a big deal. After about a minute, the pressure goes down and that little rod drops down and I can take the lid off. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Nothing to be scared of. Easy peasy. Check this out. Look at the vegan beef stew. Look at those beefless strips. Oh my gosh. If I didn't know any better, I would think that that was real beef, wouldn't you? Look at that. Oh my gosh. I would totally serve this to my Omni family, wouldn't you? Now I just want you to see, even with those big chunks of potatoes, at 3 minutes of pressure cooking, they come out fork tender. This stew is ready to eat. Look at it. Oh my gosh. The onions look great. The celery is tender. We are ready to rock. Let's just drill over this some more, shall we? Now look at this. Here's a closer look. Oh my gosh, look at that. There's the beefless strips with the breading cooked off. It just melted right off of there. But those strips are still tender and chewy. Oh my gosh, I'm serious. You would not know. If you're a meat eater, you really couldn't tell the difference between that and say a tender roast that has been slow cooking for hours. It was the exact same texture. I promise. You would not be disappointed when you make this. Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go so y'all can go to the store and pick yourself up some beefless strips and get yourself the ingredients for this recipe. And I want y'all to make this and then come back and tell me what y'all thought. This just crossed my mind, I don't know why. I did not get paid to talk about Gardein or the Instapot. I just want y'all to know that. My opinions and my obsessions are my own. This is just me sharing a recipe with you. I'll talk to you in the comments below. Bye.